I told you it was cheesy.
But it's to the point.
So, there it is. It like gets you ready. You know it's coming. It's kind of sportsy. So, anyways, well, welcome everyone back to my 32 fan series, 32 different teams. We are now visiting MetLife, and we are visiting the NFC East team of the New York Football Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say a couple of things. First of all, we're recording this. The draft has happened. The schedule has not been released. Have you all had mini camp yet? Rookie mini camp.
I think they're going to do rookie minicamp in like 2 days.
Perfect. Okay. So just to level set, because I think sometimes like things might happen, trades might happen or whatever. And by
Mm-hmm.
the time this comes out, if we didn't talk about it, it's because as of today, nothing really is going on. So just FYI. And then the other thing, just like I'll say in all my episodes, the questions, we're all on the same page. And if I go off script, I always announce I'm going off script. So
Mm-hmm.
just to let people know, because I think sometimes people are like, somebody was like, you should not trick your guests when they come on. I'm like, first of all, I would never. And second of all, like, anyways, so I just like to call that out. Anyways, if you want to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, how long you've been a Giants fan, why do you love them so much? That would be fantastic.
Okay.
We're on you. Go for it.
All right. Well, this is Big Pat Sports Talk. Everybody knows me as Big Pat. On my exclusive channel, Big Pat Sports Talk, where I do Giants content exclusively. We actually have built our own network, me and my partners, the Aboriginal Sports Network, so you could catch me over there as well. I've been a Giants fan pretty much my whole life. Like I said, my uncle, they're Bears fans. All my family are Bears fans. We're from Chicago. But when I saw Lawrence Taylor in his last year, I became a Giants fan. So I'm the runt of the family. I'm the only one that goes other than the Chicago Bears when it comes to football. So that's where you can find me, man. Big Pat Sports Talk on Twitter, Big Pat Sports, and the Aboriginal Sports Network.
Got it. Love it. And let's talk about the 2024 season. So how was the season for you? How would you describe the season? Like when the season was ended, how would you describe the season? And then what song do you think best represents your season for 2024?
For 2024, like I said, it was Highway to Hell. We went 3-14, and we should have had the number one pick. Probably would have had Cam Ward. Looks like we wanted Cam Ward. And we decided to win a meaningless game against the Indianapolis Colts and push them out of the playoffs. We wound up getting the number 3 pick, but it actually turned out to be pretty good to us. But 2024 was absolutely horrible. It was so hard calling those games. We were one of the worst teams you could look at on the football field last year, and it's not even close. Not even close.
So how do you okay, so season ends, you get to free agency, right? Because the season's over, what happens? Next thing is free agency. Other teams are playing in the playoffs. Obviously, the Commanders are playing in the playoffs. The Eagles are playing in the playoffs. They're going to win the Super Bowl. They're all in your division. How are you feeling when you were kind of like, really? Like, oh gosh, were you like, we're so far? Or, okay, I see a path. Like, how are you feeling when all of this was happening?
I wasn't feeling pretty much anything. I knew that Washington, when they got Jaden Daniels, as long as they protected Jaden Daniels, they was gonna have a pretty good season because you really don't know what Jaden Daniels is about. Now that you got some film on him, we'll see what he do in the second year. But as soon as the Eagles got Saquon Barkley, I already knew what time it was. It was like the only one that could really stop them is themselves. So when they
Yeah.
got that running game going with Saquon Barkley, everybody knew what was going to happen. And I mean, it is what it is, man. We're pretty far over here in the NFC East. It's a monster over here in the NFC East. Both the Commanders and the Eagles represented the NFC in the NFC Championship game. So we're the division that has the most Super Bowl winning teams, the most Super Bowls. So it's a monster over here, and we got to get it together. Hopefully, I do think our defense can be good enough to play over in the NFC East, but our offense, like I said, is still highway to hell. We got the same people.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart is the
So,
only new addition.
and how do you feel? So we'll talk about the Jackson Dart pick here in just a second, but I just have a thought. How do you feel about like the organization, like the GM and the coaches and the decisions they're making? Because it I don't, how was it like, because you're watching Saquon, we all know why he walked, we all know what happened, we all know all the things. Not saying Saquon would have brought the Giants a Super Bowl this year, that's not what I'm saying, but how was it watching, how did that make you feel about like your coach and ownership and all the things that happened when you saw how he really catapulted that team?
Well, I think it was good for both sides, to be honest with you. It was good
Fair.
for Saquon
Okay.
Barkley because he was able to go to a team that could actually use his talents, and it was good for us. So you don't have to keep answering Saquon Barkley questions and why he's not being this productive. I think it was good on both sides. Now, when it comes to the organization, I just think that we're behind the times when it comes to building a team on offense. We don't really know if we want to be a passing team or a running team. We're trying to be this what do you call it? This finesse type team in a bully division. That's what I think is happening. And we're not running the ball the way that we're supposed to run the ball. We're not very talented on offense, even though we got Russell Wilson this year. He's a 1-year rental. And we just hope Jackson Dart can turn out to be what they hope he can be. But the defense it is with Shane Bourne. Some of his defensive schemes doesn't fit what our corners do best as far as being press corners. He runs like a zone scheme. And I think the defense would have been all right if the offense wasn't so bad. You know what I'm saying? The offense was causing the defense to be on the field all game long.
We played you all this year, and I remember thinking the same. I remember thinking, like, if this offense, and it was one of those games, right, where I'm like, if this offense could do something, like, we might be in trouble because the defense was pretty good. I mean, considering. So, okay. So you get to the pre-draft, before the draft day, pre-draft. Who did you want them to take? But who you wanted them to take and who you thought they would take in your gut? Did those match?
All right. Who I wanted them to take and who I thought they were going to take did not match. I wanted them to take Shedeur Sanders, but the whole Shedeur Sanders fiasco happened. Yeah. And I knew they were going to take Travis Hunter before somebody traded in front of him. So I knew it was going to be Abdul Carter. Now, what kind of tripped me out is when they traded back up in the first round and then they took Jackson Dart and not Shedeur Sanders. Now, that had me kind of pissed at first, but then knowing more and more what's going on with the Shedeur Sanders thing, he was always going to go to Cleveland in that round at that pick, but that's a whole nother story. But I'm satisfied with what we did in the draft. We got Cam Scatbo in the 4th round, wasn't supposed to be there. We got Darius Alexander in the 3rd round. He wasn't supposed to be there. Bo in the 5th round wasn't supposed to be there. So they did what they did. And I'm actually satisfied with what they did. It's just that the offense is not going to be good again this year.
Yeah.
That's it.
Who was your favorite pick, and who was the pick where you kind of were like, all right, whatever. Like, cool.
I'm gonna be honest with you. My favorite pick was Abdul Carter. Because now I know where you have to, if you can't get your franchise quarterback right there, get after the quarterback. And that's what they did with that pick. And the only pick I was like, was the cornerback from Oregon State or Oklahoma State, Black in the 7th round. But that's a 7th round pick. You're just picking somebody there. Hopefully they can make the squad, do some stuff on special teams and things for it. But other than that, was pretty good with all those picks, to be honest with you.
And it sounds like to me that you feel like you're just, you know where you all are at. Like, you're like, our defense is going to be great. Our defense will figure it out. Our offense is still going to be what our offense is. Did you guys get any offensive linemen in free agency?
No, we re-signed our own. And we got a couple of backups, a couple of backup tackles. That was it.
You all re-signed the exact same offensive lineman?
Yeah, we re-signed Van Rotten, and then we signed a couple of backup swing tackles. Other than nothing changed. Nothing changed on offense except for drafting Jackson Dart and drafting Cam Scatbo. Everybody else came back. Because remember, we re-signed Slayton too. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So
Russell Wilson is new.
Yeah, but if that offensive line isn't, it doesn't matter who's new, honestly, because Okay. Okay. So what group do you think is the most underrated group, or what player on your team do you think is like the most underrated player that people just don't really talk about?
Most underrated player we have. I want to say Drew. I'm not Tyler Newman, the safety, the rookie
Okay.
safety. He was
Okay.
acting a heck of a rookie campaign before he got injured. He already had like 90 tackles in like 13 weeks. So I mean, I just think that I don't really think there's too many underrated people on this team. Everybody knows what the Giants are. They just got to get their issues fixed, and that's the offensive line. And the offensive line was actually playing well before Andrew Thomas got hurt. We have no depth. That's what kills us, especially in the NFC East.
Who's the running back?
Tyrone Tracy.
I think he got hurt against us. Against us. I don't know who us is, but I think he got hurt when he played us.
No, he didn't get hurt. He actually did very well against y'all. It was Tyrone Tracy.
It was Tyrone. Okay, is he still there?
Mm-hmm. He's the
Okay.
number one running back. Him and Scott Bull gonna be sharing carries.
Okay.
I think we're
No,
gonna be
I
more
like
of a
him.
running team.
I like him.
He's dope.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I can't believe. Yeah. Who's getting the Giants money right now? Who's the highest paid New York Giant?
It's gonna be Dexter Lawrence, Andrew
Okay.
Thomas.
Okay.
I think Brian Burns is the highest at 30 million. Brian Burns. Then you got Paul Daboll and Javon Holland that we signed this year. But most of our money was with Daniel Jones and Brian Burns, but Daniel Jones is gone. So now it's Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Holland, Daboll. Those are your big contracts.
Okay. Okay. So having said all of that, where do you see the New York Giants in 2025? What are your expectations? Do you feel like you all are, contenders? Do you think you all are rebuilding?
Playoffs.
I know. I needed to just, for the sake of honesty, just ask the question because
I would be happy with this team if we were 8-9 or 9-8, somewhere through there.
Would you say not getting a top 10 draft pick would be a success?
It all depends on how you look at it. Because if we're a bad team and then we're mid, now you're not getting one of the best players coming out in that draft.
True.
Then when you're mid, you were just barely, not in the playoffs. So I think that's where we'll be in limbo. I just think they need to educate Jackson Dart to get him ready to play for next year. Let Russell Wilson play out this year. Let Jackson Dart sit. And if Russell Wilson can come in and win some games, great. If he comes in and bombs out, we got another high pick next year, great. I just think we're a team that's in limbo. There's no expectations for me with this team this year. Okay. Now, I don't want to go 3-14 again. If you can get about 6 to 7 wins, I think that's a successful season for this Giants team going into the situation that they're going in now. Now, will that be good for Brian Daboll? I don't know. He might be fired.
That was my next question. Yeah. What is your take on him? What are Jans who I cannot talk? I'm like, can somebody teach me English? How are the fan base with Brian Daboll right now? Are Giants fans livid? Are they pissed? Are they just kind of like, we're not very good anyway? Like, or like, I think, what is their biggest complaint?
The biggest complaint, people that's like me, is the offense. What is your scheme? We don't know what your scheme is. You got a 5'7" receiver that's getting 144 targets. That doesn't make any sense. It's like it's too easy to stop our offense. It's too easy to stop the run game. It's just too easy to stop us, man. And that's what's really holding this team back. You were the offensive guru, but your team is only averaging 15.4 points per game the past 2 seasons. That's my biggest thing with Brian Daboll. And I think if that doesn't change this year, he's fired. Because I think Joe Shane is safe, the GM. I really do. I think it's Brian Daboll that's really on the hot seat. And if Russell Wilson comes in and struggles, the only thing Brian Daboll will be able to, hold his job with is bring in Jackson Dart and show, hey, look, I finally got my quarterback and he's progressing. It's the only thing that'd be able to keep his job. But then you have to throw Jackson Dart in there faster than I believe he should be in there. So
Right.
it's going to be crazy with them.
Yeah. Jameis is there too, right?
Yeah, Jameis is there.
Has he done anything funny yet?
Oh, it's Jameis, man. He's in New York, man. He's gonna be crazy.
At least y'all have Jameis. Like at least if all else
good laughs this year.
Yeah, at least you have Jameis. He'll make it all better. He'll make it all better. So okay, then what is a hot take about your team that fans might not agree with you about?
Everything I say. Everything I say. But a hot take. I guess what I just said, that Joe Schoen is safe. A lot of people blame Joe Schoen like he's the guy that actually puts those players out there on the field for them to produce. You can grab all the greatest players in the world, but if nobody's being developed, there's nothing you can do. That's not your job. Your job is to get the groceries, and you're supposed to go out there and cook. Right now, Brian Daboll ain't been cooking with nobody, and these coaches haven't been developing these players. I know for a fact no GM develops players. He gets the players that you want, and you got to go out there and cook with them. He's not putting Jalen Hyatt on the bench. It's not his fault Jalen Hyatt ain't progressed. It's not his fault Daniel Jones ain't progressed. It's not his fault the defensive takes a setback against the run last year. It's not his fault. He gets the people that you want. You're supposed to cook. That's how it goes. But everybody thinks Joe Schoen is the one that should be fired. Oh, these players suck. Well, they're not being developed. What are your coaches doing?
Yeah. Sounds like you're in for an interesting year this year.
Man, you're going to see. You're going to see.
Sounds like because and then I'll ask you the next question in a second. But I guess in my eyes, so as of this recording, Pickens has already went to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And which I think is fantastic for the Cowboys. I think that's fantastic for Pickens, honestly. And I like where it puts my Steelers, because I think what that shows me is the Steelers are right where I thought they were. And we're in a silent rebuild, and they didn't want to spend that much money when they didn't have to. They could just let them go. So I get it. But I'm not in that division. So you being in that division and kind of seeing what the Eagles did, seeing this is obviously Jalen Daniels' second year, seeing what the Cowboys are trying to do and trying to create. Do you feel like the Giants are like trying to create? Like, do you feel like they're stagnant? Like, what do you think? Like, what is the issue? Because I just feel like the Giants aren't doing anything to get better. I feel like they're doing everything to stay winning 3 games. Does that make sense? Like, I'm like, do you feel like they're like making changes and really like innovative and like, because if my team only won 3 games, like at some point you got to blow something up. Like, I want to see, you know what I mean? Like, do y'all know that y'all only won 3 games? So
sometimes it looks like they don't know, but what it is, man, I think they went all out on the defensive side of the ball. You got to think they brought in Chauncey Golston, Ledbetter, Anderson on the defensive line. They brought in Abdul Carter, Darius Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Javon Holland. They brought in Paulson Adebo. We got Tyler Nubin. We still got Deontay Banks. Drew Phillips had a heck of a rookie year. You got Brian Burns. You got Thibodeau. Like, I really think they went all out on the defense, and they're going to try to win some games with their defense this year. Offense, we didn't do a damn thing, so we already know what time it is. If our defense is going to have to lead us in this season. Now, if this defense could go out there and play like the 2007, 2011 Giants and 86 Giants, hey, we got a chance to beat anybody. But if this offense just averages 20 to 22 points a game, I really think we can get that 6 to 7 wins. Now, do I think we win some games in this division? It's going to be tough. Yeah. It's going to be tough, man. I only see us winning 1, maybe 2. And then the Cowboys. I mean, look at the rosters over here in the NFC East. Just with the receiver cores alone.
Right. But that's why I'm kind of looking at the Giants and I'm like, what is the plan? But maybe the Giants are saying, you know what? We can't contend with that right now. But what we can do is have a really great defense for 2025. 2026, we're going to focus on this offense. And because this is solid, like, maybe that's the plan. I'm trying. I don't know. I'm reaching.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only logical explanation you could do.
Yeah.
Or say. Yeah. They're going to be led by their defense. They're going to hope this defense can hold people to maybe 14 to 13 points a game and try to win some games. Offensive side, only thing, I'll be honest with you, if the philosophy was better, I think our offense would be better. But if he goes with that same scheme that he did last year, we're gonna get killed again. That's plain and simple.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So then this is the $1 million question. If you were the GM for one day, what would be the very first move you would make?
If I was the GM for one day,
What would be the very first move you would make?
call the 49ers for Brandon Ayuk.
Ooh.
Yep.
Okay.
Call the 49ers for Brandon Ayuk, because if Pickens goes for a third and a fifth, I know we could get Ayuk for a fourth.
I didn't see that coming. Okay. That's okay. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that immediately Did he tear his ACL last year? Was it him?
It was the beginning of the season, and he didn't start playing to the end of the season. So
so he came back by the end of
Mm-hmm.
last year. Okay. The seasons are so long now that it's like, oh, he did that in week 3. He was back by week. I'm like, oh, and then it's so weird to me that like ACLs aren't even real injuries anymore. Like people tear their ACLs and like 4 months later. Yeah. Remember it was like, oh, he's out for the year. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, even with like Juju, I'm curious to see like how fast she comes back from her ACL tear. Because these days
about 6 months.
It's crazy. It used to be like a whole year. A whole year. It's like, just go ahead,
if you can come back.
Yeah. But you know what happened? But that's why I always say it takes one person. Adrian Peterson was like, I can do this. And he came back. And I think that changed the way people thought about it. They were like, if he can do it, I'm not
ACL, PCL, and MCL.
All
came back
within
a year.
And then he do it twice.
2,000 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how do you see this man like doing all this at this high level and you have the same injury, not even nearly as bad? You need to get up. Like,
mm-hmm.
So,
but these they got way better stuff now. You know, back in the day, they didn't have that stuff that they got now for these athletes. So, I mean, especially if you tore Achilles or something back then, that was the end of your career. Now,
I think the Achilles now
in almost the same year.
The Achilles now too, though, is the new ACL. Like ACLs, people are like, "Oh, you tore your ACL? Okay, they'll be back in like 5-6 months. It's fine." Achilles, they're kind of like, "Ooh, okay, this could take a little longer. You'll be back, but this could take a little longer." But I'm like, I just remember when an injury surgery used to be like, "Yeah, good luck."
Crazy.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we have our overtime round next. My overtime round was very specifically chose for 4 questions because it takes 4 questions to score a touchdown or 4 plays to score a touchdown. So I was like, 4 overtime. It makes sense. It doesn't make any sense when I say it out loud, but it made sense in my head, and that is all that matters. So this is kind of rapid fire. So the first question is, what division rival do you love to hate the most and why?
The Philadelphia Eagles. I can't stand Eagles fans. They are the worst fans in fan base history. I can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're still the little brothers of the NFC East. They got 2, but everybody else got 3 or more. So I just can't stand Philadelphia Eagle fans. They're terrible. I hate
So
them.
it's the fans. It's not really the franchise.
Oh, I can't stand the franchise either. I can't stand Howie Roseman. Can't stand AJ Brown. I can't stand Barkley. Just can't stand the Eagles. I don't like them. Like them.
Okay, that's fair. If you could change one thing about your franchise, what would it be? So you can change ownership, stadium, uniforms, anything. What would you change?
I would change ownership, stadium, certain uniforms, head coach, offensive line, wide receiver 2, defensive coordinator. Hell, might even change the logo. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's a long answer. I'll change a lot.
So let me ask you the flip then. What is the one thing you like about the organization that you would never change? Let's go there.
Okay, ooh, that's tough. Now that's the question to ask.
What is
I would just say our history. Just the history of the New York Giants. I'll never change that. That's about the only thing.
Let's wheel it in.
Right.
Okay. Fair. And then the next question is, if you could swap one person or one player from your team with a player from your rival team and just do like a complete swap, who would you swap and why?
Oh man, that's a good question. I would
And
swap.
I can't wait to see how you answer this.
I would swap Wandale Robinson with AJ Brown,
Okay.
and I think that would change the whole tide of this division.
Okay. Yeah, because it would
Yeah,
take him off the Eagles.
and give them
Mhm.
Wandale Robinson and Smith. That ain't doing nothing. But now we got AJ Brown and neighbors. I don't care who the quarterback is. Just get the ball out there. That's what they
Yeah,
tell
just throw
Jalen
it.
Hurts.
Yeah. What is that thing? Somebody's down there. Just chunk it.
Right.
They'll go
Just
get
chuck
it.
it. You good. Two
Okay.
monsters like that on the same team. Yeah. And then give them Minnie Mouse. Oh, we good.
I like it. Okay. Describe your team's fan base in 3 words.
Ignorant, hypocritical, and stupid. Just gonna be honest with you. Some jackasses over here, man. I don't like them dudes either. I can't stand
Is
them.
it
See how hard
the
you
fan
laugh? That's how
base?
everybody laughs at us.
No, because
Mm-hmm.
so to be fair, I think what happens though is we all know this feeling as a fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because none of our teams have always won. None of our teams have always done the things you want them to do. None of them. So for me, I think to hear you express it, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know what that I could, yeah, like so I get it. I totally get it because when it's not going right, it's not going right, and nothing is going right, and so everything is a joke. Yeah, I was there with Texas for a while. I'm like, I don't know. People are like, oh, you have a new coach. I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I
Right.
don't
It
care.
don't matter.
You know?
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, until you
You
show me it's
watch.
gonna work. Yeah, I don't think it matters. So that's why I'm laughing because I know that feeling. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
that down on the Steelers right now, but the Steelers are kind of doing some things where I'm like, oh,
Yeah. You let Russ and Fields go. You better hope
I'm
you get
triggered by
Aaron
Fields.
Rodgers.
I'm triggered by
And
Fields.
I
The
think Fields
Fields
gonna get
thing.
his ass towed up over here with the New York Jets. I'm sorry. He gonna get killed over here, bro.
Okay, so that's okay. So let me ask you a question. I didn't prepare. I'm going off script here. Who do you think is going to have the better record this year? The Giants or the Jets?
Ooh. I must say the Jets only because our schedule is brutal.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
how do you
fair.
go 3-14 and have the toughest schedule in the league? That's how bad it gets for Giants. We went 3 and
Oh,
14 in the very next season. We got the hardest schedule in the league. That doesn't make any type of sense.
who
But
do y'all play?
man, we play the AFC North.
We play y'all
Uh,
again?
no, I think we play the Ravens. Yeah, I think we do. We play the
Again?
Ravens, the
We played
Bengals.
y'all.
Man, look, man. Let me bring this up real
I'm
quick
like
because we
again?
play some vicious people.
Some vicious people.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Like, how does that
Oh,
even
this is
happen?
so funny. I don't know. By the way, just I said at the beginning of this, the schedule's not out yet. So by the time this
Okay.
releases, the schedule will probably be out. So
Okay, so here it is right here. We play the Saints, the
okay.
Raiders, the Lions. That's a whooping. The Broncos. That's a whooping. I think the Bears are gonna whoop us.
Mm,
We play the Chiefs. That's a whooping. Play the
okay.
Chargers. That's a whooping. The Vikings. That's a whooping. The
Counting
Packers.
the
That's a
losses.
whooping. The 49ers. We might be able to get them. And then we play the Eagles twice, Cowboys twice,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Commanders
Okay.
twice.
We're
You
looking
see what
at
I'm
about
saying?
another 3. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Our schedule is ridiculous. I don't even know how our schedule got that hard, bro. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's actually interesting. So you all play the NFC
We
North
play,
and
yeah,
the
NFC
AFC
North.
West.
in the AFC
NFC
West.
North and AFC West. Okay. That's so funny. By the way, I say I talk football. And so sometimes I'll be like, yeah, and they're in the AFC East and they're in the AFC. And I have to remind myself that like some people just don't know them like that. So anyways, but that's yeah. All right. Well, I'll send my thoughts and my prayers.
You're gonna need a lot of prayer over here in New York. I tell you that now. A lot of prayer.
Hey, at least you're going into the season the right way, right? You have no expectations. You don't think this offense is going to be good. You think this defense is going to be able to hold their own for a little while, but maybe the dam will probably break in some games, give or take. If Wilson plays well, he's going to exceed your expectations. Yep. And I think that is right where you're supposed to be. It's kind of like me going into the Steelers season. I'm like, I expect us to be 10-7, period. I expect us to be 10-11.
Tomlin always finds a way to get you on the playoffs.
And if we aren't that, then I have, it looks bad. And it looks bad. I got issues. But, and again, I always say though, sometimes it's not about how you win or sometimes it's not about winning or losing when it's how you lose and how you're winning. Because we were barely winning and losing big. That's a problem. That's not good. That's not the formula you want. But you know what? That's my team. So I hear you. Yeah. So just on behalf of fans everywhere, I think we need to all give the Giants fans some grace.
I don't need no grace.
I'm just messing with you.
That's the issue.
No, I'm just messing with you. It's time for them to take care of business. Man.
People crazy. I can't stand them, man. I can't even stand my own fan base. It's okay though. Still call
what is their biggest gripe though? Do you think they're just griping just because the whole thing is bad? So they're just always gonna gripe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fair. Everybody's a target because it just sucks. So everyone's okay. That's fair. So we will end on you. Is there anything else that maybe I didn't ask that you wanted to say, or anything that you wanted to say, and we'll end on whatever it is that you have?
No, I mean, man, like I said, just catch me on the Aboriginal Sports Network, where it's a conglomerate of all the guys, the Aboriginal crew.
I did an episode over there, by the way.
You talk episode. Yeah, we got a great relationship over here, man. With them is really flawed. Always welcome to the network. Other than that, man, hey, thanks for adding to our misery by giving the Cowboys pickings. Let them team up with CeeDee Lamb, why don't you? That's pretty cool.
There's a Dak. There might be a Dak problem over there, though. So will it really matter? We'll see.
Yeah.
By the way,
hold them back.
I hope to sweet baby Jesus, we do not have to see the freaking Giants play the Cowboys on any nationally televised game.
Man,
how many? What is it? 10 in a row? You all have lost to them. How many more times do we have to see the matchup? Like, come on.
The only way I see they do that is they want to see Malik Neighbors. That's it.
But let's see Malik play somebody else. Why does it always have to be? Put him on against the Chiefs. Somebody, why does it always have to be the Cowboys? Because we already know who's winning.
The Cowboys been kicking the NFC East ass for a little bit. They just can't win in the playoffs.
They just can't win.
Last year was the first year they didn't really. Yeah, last year was the first year they really didn't do too well. But they'll get back in the playoffs and lose real quick. That's what they do.
Anyways, I'm sure the Cowboys fan will appreciate that. Anyways, well, I appreciate you. Thank you for always being amazing, gracious with your time, inviting, all the things. And like always, I'll put all your stuff in I'll put all your things in the description box for the episode, so everyone will see it. I don't know why I can't talk tonight, but it just kind of is what it is. I don't know. At this point, I don't even know what words to use anymore. I'm doing the best I can. So this is just what it is. Okay. So for all those people that are always like, you always know what to say, you always talk so perfectly. No, that is absolutely not true. So here we are. Anyways, I appreciate you, and I'm sure we'll connect on something soon.
All right.